Hi everyone, my name's Lizzie Hunter. I'm the Communications Officer for the Nepean Redevelopment, and today I'm talking to the Redevelopment's Operational Commissioning Manager, Zena Wilson, on how Nepean Hospital staff will access the new Stage 1 tower from the current hospital campus through linkways. So Zena, what are the new linkways and where do they link to?
Hi Lizzie, hi everyone. Look, I've put a few slides here to help you all put the images into perspective, and hopefully you can you know this presentation makes some sort of sense to you all. So you can see on screen here at the moment that the red linkway here, there's a red one and there's a yellow one. The red one here is the North Block linkway, and that goes through to the temporary front of house, and that's the one that we'll be talking about first up. So this extends from the North Block corridor through to the tower. So at the end of the North Block linkway, there'll be a temporary front of house, and as you can see, I've popped a quick slide in there just to show you what that looks like. And also here's an artist impression of what with the colours and the cabinetry and just shows how beautiful the temporary front of house will be at the end of that linkway. Here, this is a little bit more boring, but if you can imagine, this is here, this corridor here is the North Block corridor. And this is the entrance to the existing day only unit, and here's all the beds and the nurses station, and that's what it looks like now. If you look at this is what it will look like when we have the corridor built in. So North Block again, and here's the corridor that will take you straight through the old day only unit and into the North Block corridor here. This corridor, I've put the yellow lines here, which shows you the North Block corridor, top to bottom, and the entrance into that corridor.
That's great.
I've actually extended this from that corridor, and I've popped a bit in here to show you how this links back to the car park. And the car park, this is the P1 car park, the Barber Street car park, where most of our visitors will be parking when they visit people in the tower. And they will walk through that linkway there, through between pathology and ICU as they do now, and join that North Block corridor. And you can see that the journey from that car park to the tower is not too bad at all. Mm-hmm. And this linkway will be open to staff 24/7 by swipe card. It will also be open to the general public from early morning until around 9:30 p.m. At the moment, the access times are changing due to COVID. So, you know, and depending on COVID, depends on the access times when this is all open. This will be the main route for our visitors, and they will be advised to use that access if they're that parking spot if they're going to visit people in the tower. This is a temporary linkway, and it will be removed once Stage 2 is built.
That's great, thank you, Zena. And so you said there was a second linkway as well?
Yes, so going back to this diagram here again, you can see this yellow linkway here. We're going to focus there on the yellow linkways, and there's actually 3 linkways here. There's one on level 1, one on level 2, and one on level 3, and I'll walk you through those now in hope that it makes some sort of sense to you all. So just popping back to slide 3. Just to orientate you, here's the new tower here, and here's the East Block Undercroft. And most people that work in the hospital now know where East Block Undercroft is. And of course, this East Block Undercroft will become the new pathology department. And the new pathology department is estimated to open around the same time that we open stage 1. We haven't got exact dates yet, but we're hoping that it'll be open around there. So if we pop to this slide now, this is a lot more detail for you. So here you can see the level 1 linkway. Now I just need to point out that the level 1 linkway is ground floor for the tower. So it can be a bit confusing, but you have to remember that the tower, of course, is on a different ground level to West Block and South Block, and so you know there is that difference. So so here's the pathology, the new pathology department here, which is currently known as the East Block Undercroft, and this green line here is the path that you can walk along to access this. The little triangle there represents a swipe access on there, and that's for staff. Staff will be able to access that point 24/7. Once they're inside the corridor, the staff can elect to either go straight on down this corridor, which will take them to North Block, and I will talk about that in a minute and show them where that comes out and what that means. Or they can turn right, go down the linkway and straight into the tower, and they will be able to swipe their way into the lift, the staff lifts here. This is also an access point for the maternity patients, an after hours access point for the maternity patients. And you can see these little car park spaces here. If they have to pull up after hours and they've got a labouring person in the car, there's going to be an emergency access point here in case they're delivering, which will go straight through. It's a video intercom. It will go straight through to maternity services, which, remember, are just here, just on the other side of this linkway. They don't have to go up or down a floor. They go straight in on the same floor, straight through to the birth unit. So if they're able to get their wives or partners out of the cars and walk them up here, there's either a ramp or a step up to this area here. There's another video intercom here, and then they will be, which goes straight directly through to birthing unit, and they will then be allowed access, and they can walk straight down here along the corridor, turn left and into the WAU, the Women's Acute Assessment Unit, and into birthing unit. So that's a great access point there for them. I just want to also to talk about this slide and show you, here we are, this is the bit we were talking about earlier, the access point into that corridor. And as you can see, this corridor will go all the way down past and into North Block, and the corridor goes all the way out into the North Block corridor. Now, this North Block corridor, this is the point where these offices, it's the surgical executive offices at the moment, and across the way here is pharmacy. So it's that corridor, and it's a great link. Because not only will it get them to North Block quicker, but also get them to the loading dock quicker. So this is going to be very, very useful for general services and access to the loading dock. The journey to the tower will be shorter, a lot shorter than using any other route. So for deliveries and of stock and and general services, it will be a really good route, and we anticipate that this route will be back of house deliveries and back of house, the mortuary trolley and cleaning trolleys, anything like that, can all use this corridor. It's staff only. Patients will not be allowed past a certain point here into that corridor. So now I want to take you to level 2. So we've just done level 1. Now this is level 2, which is above the level 1 linkway. So you can see that yellow, there's your linkway there that we were talking about earlier, but it's a floor above. And I just want to show you how to access this point. You can see here the yellow linkway joining level 2 East Block to the tower. The connection from East Block will be via the current theatre doors. So as you walk down from the chapel along that East Block corridor there, you've got your outpatients here, and then you've got an entrance to theatres here on the left. This will be the entrance to the corridor to access the level 2 linkway. So the corridor will go down between theatres and APC all the way through and into that linkway there. This will be a staff only linkway, in as much as staff will be able to, it's a swipe access, staff will be able to take patients via that linkway on beds and wheelchairs and things like that, but this linkway will not be open to the general public. And access to this linkway will be 24/7 for staff. So that's the linkway on level 2. There is another linkway on level 3. So again, you can see the linkway here to the tower, and this linkway links theatres to E3H. It is a staff only linkway and will only be used to transfer E3H and E3I patients to and from theatres. I've got a bit of a diagram here showing the ward. It's a bit complicated, but this is E3H. This is where the tower comes through, the linkway comes through and connects with E3H. The little red triangle shows you the swipe access there. So as I say, it is only staff only. So the journey will be quick from theatres to the surgical ward, and that's great. That's really improved the patient journey here. So they won't be taking the patients all the way through the wards. We literally will be walking straight down that back corridor and out through into the corridor. Here's the steps going up to E3I and E3H. So it brings you out into this corridor, and any patients needing to access E3, into E3I can go that way. Otherwise, the patient will be delivered to whatever bed in E3H.
So Zena, you said all 3 linkways will be open 24 hours for staff members.
Yes.
Are there any other security considerations? For example, can any staff member access the linkways?
Only our own staff with our own ID badges will be able to access the linkways. Agency staff will have a problem with the linkways, and there's a workaround on all of this. I can't tell you what that is yet. Some of these operational issues are still being sorted out, but all our staff, as long as you've got your ID, you can get into the linkways.
How else will staff and visitors be able to access the Stage 1 tower?
There really is no other access to the Stage 1 tower other than via the linkways. For the general public at this point, the only access point is the North Block linkway, and otherwise, and the level 1 linkway for maternity patients. There is an access point through ED for ambulances only, for teams like NETS and emergency situations, obviously including ED. The general public, there's no access point there through ED. You cannot get to the rest of the hospital through ED, is what I'm saying.
So Zena, when will the linkways open?
Well, they all have to be open by go live, of course, otherwise we can't get into the tower. So we're looking around February time, when they'll be January, February time, because of course there's a lot of work to be done before we open, and staff need to access the tower to set up their wards and departments in readiness for go live. So I'm hoping very much that the East Block level 2 linkway, the ones via between APC and the theatres there, that will be open in January, ready for commissioning purposes.
And if I was a staff member and I wanted to find out more, who can I contact for more information?
Well, the best person, of course, is go through your commissioning champion, if you have a commissioning champion. Otherwise, we have a email address that will go through to the whole team, and an appropriate person can answer your email, or they can send an email to myself or any of the team.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Zena, for your time today. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Lizzie.